My journey of starting to make some YouTube videos and you know making small little progressions and stuff like that, and I realize that there are certain things that trigger the automatic black female response. It's almost like a stimuli, and it took me a while to kind of figure out what that was and why it would. I could never understand why it would provoke such a reaction. And one of the things that I realized was growing up as a child of a single mom and being, or having weight issues, and not really having a lot of self confidence. I thought my biggest and greatest asset was to a female that I liked or was interested in. I thought it was by treating them nice, kind, and respectfully. And after about 10 years of trying to do that, um, I kind of switched my mode and said to myself, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna treat these females like shit because that's what they seem to like. Now, there, with that comes a triggered response in two ways, and it will attract and it will paranoid a black female. What do I mean by that? All right. So one thing I noticed was when I decided, you know what, all these chicks is good for is just fuck it. I'm gonna just get a nut and be out the door. It attracted a certain type of black female to me. That particular type of black female typically was very freaky, nasty, and would pretty much do anything I asked her to do or demand her to do. Then there was the other black female, which felt a form of disrespect, but a fear of not having control. So what ends up happening is when you adopt this mentality of fuck a bitch, 'cause that's what I call it. At that point in time in my life, that's where I was. So when you adopt that kind of mentality of fuck a bitch, the female that will still fuck you, she has you have the power in that regard because that female feels like she has to try to get the power back. So she will do whatever it takes to get that power back, which is what then therefore causes what ended up happening to me, which is to try to keep that power, you will blame a baby on someone or try to get pregnant by that person to get that control back. The other type of black female is the one that won't even step into the arena. She'll hide behind the fact that she says, "Oh, you're not going to treat me any old way." But in reality, it's not has nothing to do with how you are treating her or how you see her. What it is that she doesn't want to be in that position of the dirty nasty female who is willing to do what it takes to get that power back. See, in her mind she already has the power. She just doesn't want to give it up. And she doesn't want to give it up to someone who doesn't fear her having the power. Because at the end of the day, when you switch your mind frame up, like I did at that time in the early or late 2000s, right? When it just becomes sex, it's nothing emotionally attached to it. The nasty female is just trying to get the power back. You're kind of on the same level. She's just trying to get that power. It's a tug of war of power. What it is for the other female that considers themselves respectable, which in reality are not. They are one and the same with the dirty, nasty female. The thing about it is in their mind they have already attained the power, so they don't want to run the risk of being with someone who, like I was, who had that mentality, and loving that form of almost rejection. Because at the end of the day, whenever you try to date a black female, well, I mean, you know what? Let me not do that. Let me just use my experiences. Whenever a black female, which is rare, but whenever a black female showed interest in me, she became clingy because she felt like she was vulnerable to me. She gave herself to me and didn't want me to just walk off and leave her vulnerable. Whereas the nasty female is not really caring about being vulnerable. Her vulnerability is feeling like sexually she has lost the power. The other female, it's more emotional. She doesn't want to feel like she's lost that power over the man. See, at the end of the day, most females think that their vagina is what dictates the public policy of male and female. That's just a given across all races, but in particularly in the black race, because it seems like baby making is what we do. That is the commodity, or the the black market of value in the black community. So when I say things on label my video, I say all that to say this. When I label things a certain way on my videos, now that I understand the game, I do it to evoke stimuli. I did a video I just did, and it's now posting, and I read the comment that this one, I'm assuming, black woman made to me about what makes a black man think he's a catch. Even though the video that she's commenting this on had nothing to do with dating. It was a form of, they feared the black male confidence. So that's why, if you think about it, you have all these women who say, when something bad happens to a black man, or if Kim Kardashian was to divorce Kanye West, or whatever the case, or Childish Gambino's wife divorced him, or whatever, Tiger Woods, they say, that's what you get for messing with a white girl, or whatever, non-black female. When black females do the same exact thing as a white female, non-white, whatever, women all do the same shit. Just because your skin hue is a different color doesn't mean your mentality is different. You can have the same mind frame and be in different color skin. But the problem with male confidence, and why they call it toxic masculinity, is because what ends up happening, freaking gnats, what ends up happening is when a male, not just black, but when a male has confidence within himself, yes, it is very attractive. It is very, very appealing. It almost increases his stock, so to speak. So in order to make that male not feel like his stock is up here, but his stock is down here, they coin these terms of toxic masculinity. Or they'll try to say, especially if you're a black male, they'll try to say, like what the woman said, commented on my video, what makes you think black men are such a catch? Well, black men definitely date outside their race more so than their counterparts, at almost double the rate. I would say that has to be some form of a catch, wouldn't you? Now, I'm not glorifying it, but it's a statistic. So you can't make a statement that's clearly false when the stats show it's different. It's like the lady who said black men are the number 2 reason of black women dying, and I brought up the CDC statistics, and you could clearly see it was cancer. It was number 2, not black men. Now, when I title my videos "Why I Will Avoid Black Women from Now On," why is that automatically deemed as me dating them? No one can. Anyone answer me that question? Why is it automatically going to that point of I'm talking about dating them? Why is it that it can't be seen as dealing in a certain situation with black women? I'm not doing it no more. Doesn't have to mean anything about being with them, dating them, having sex with them. Has nothing to do with that. People don't, black people in particularly, have forgotten what it is to be and have an investigative mind. So instead of someone saying to me or to anyone who says that, they don't they don't ask the question, well, why do you want to avoid black women from now on? And then I could therefore give him my reasons and whatnot. Just like I posed in a video a while ago where I said if a black woman says she was done being around black men, I would say, well, why are you done being around black men? What happened? Black people, and particularly black females, they're not nurturers. They don't care about their children. And again, it's the fact that I have to say that it's not all lets you know that it's a vast majority. Because if you have to say that it's not all, that means it's almost all. That means it's a very small percentage that actually care about their children. And why do I say that? You can't have a child in poverty when you are in poverty yourself. Knowing the struggles of poverty, knowing everything that comes along with, being in poverty, living in the projects, living in the hood, everything that comes along with that. You're living in the hood now. You don't have a child. You decide you're going to bring a child into that same environment. How can you love your child? Why would you not want to have your child in a better environment where they have a better opportunity, more opportunities than what you had? I try to explain that to my oldest son all the time. I'm like, dog, you don't even understand how privileged you are, how lucky you are to be for you and first of all, for you to have a mom and a dad that lives in the same house. Second of all, the fact that all of the things that we get you is for your educational purposes. You take all that for granted sometimes as if this is a given. This is not a given. We're giving you this so that you can have more opportunities at your fingertips than me and your mom had. And especially me. Because my wife had more opportunities because her parents planned for her to do things in the future. My mom didn't plan for me. When I got ready to go to college, it was like, good luck, son. Take these loans and go on to school. I had no one, my guidance counselors didn't guide me nowhere. I found out all this shit on my own the hard way. And I'm still paying for it the hard way. I'm gonna be paying student loans till I'm well in my 50s. Okay? I'm trying to prepare for my sons so that they don't have to deal with that shit. They ain't gotta worry about being 45, 50, paying student loans and shit. I'm saving today for tomorrow. And I'm saving today for their tomorrow. Why? Because I care enough about my children to want to give them better. The triggered messages or the triggered response that comes from the title of a video tells me a lot about the state of black people, to the point of you can have a whole argument with me about an argument I'm never making. And it's all about who is right, not necessarily what's right. And nobody can ever tell me what I say is completely wrong. They might say I don't agree with this or that, but most of the time they don't even do that. They just call me names. So that lets me know if you have to call me a name, then you don't have a valid argument. A counter argument. You can't counter what I'm talking about by saying I'm fat, ugly, and a bitch. If I say the sun is shining, and you say, oh, you just a fat, ugly, jealous bitch, Okay, I'm a fat, ugly, jealous bitch. Now, explain to me why I'm wrong about the sun shining. That's why I don't trip over this shit no more. I'm exposing this mainly for black men. I don't hate black women, but black women, majority of y'all don't listen. Wait, if you go back and you look at the beginning of when I started talking about this stuff, my videos predominantly was aimed at talking to black women. I wasn't even talking to black dudes. But then I saw how y'all were reacting to it. And I said, well, all right, well then fuck it. I'm just going to talk to the black men now, or talk to men in general who may have interest in you, and give them a warning. This is the vast majority of who you're trying to be with. Is it all? No, it's not all. It's not all of anything. But at the end of the day, it's a vast majority. And a vast majority of them will look at a title. Just look at a title and come up with a whole argument against me that I'm not even making. That's scary. And that should make someone really think about 3 and 4, 5 times whether or not you want to procreate with a black woman. If she cannot demonstrate the ability to follow logic and to have a civil discourse, then you don't need to be with this black woman. Period. The end. And it's a shame how a black male confidence, because you have to, I thought about it. I was like, you have to think about it. The confidence in to say, I will no longer deal with my counterpart anymore. That's a hell of a statement to make. But if you listen to the video, you'll understand where I'm coming from. But if you never listen to the video and you only look at the title, you're going to come up with your own misconceptions. You're going to make an assumption. You know what they say about assumptions. Makes an ass out of you and me. When you assume I'm talking about something that I'm not talking about. This has been another Q's Corner. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.